What kind of assaults and that have you, discrimination, have you come across?
I came across a lot of discrimination and assault growing up. Gosh, it's too many, like, sometimes I wake up, and on days I think about it, I'm like, gosh, I'm still alive. But I'm still here. I had guns, pointed at me, attacked, like with knives, axe. But yeah, I'm still here.
And that's the good thing about having family as well and the support of our family. Our parents are very accepting of it. Our mum and dad, our siblings are very accepting of it. Our cousins and aunties are accepting of our transition. And without family and friends, I think that it would have been a lot harder, but with their support, it has given us a lot of strength and a lot of courage. And moved down to Sydney in November last year. The relocation I was living up in the Tiwi Islands at the time. I had a good paying job, but my desire to medically transition, I had to relocate, and the nearest place to do that was either Melbourne, Adelaide or Sydney. And I had said, yep, I had the strong desire to transition medically, so I decided to move down to Sydney in 2014. It has been hard, like moving away from family, moving away from my job, and moving to a place where I did not hardly know any people. But yes, it's been doing very well though. I've been on hormone replacement therapy now for, I think, going on to 9 months, and it's been working very well for me.
And the same with me. I had that strong desire to medically transition, and because it was so hard to find a doctor back in wherever, in remote and rural areas such as Alice Springs, and I thought, the only option was to move to Sydney, and I moved to Sydney over a year ago, and this month actually of August is now 1 year on hormone replacement therapy, and it was a roller coaster ride. That's all I could just say. But it's stabling out at the moment. Yes,
Sydney's been very good for me. I don't want to move away just yet. I'm actually currently dating a man at the moment. He's been very sweet to me. And I'm doing really well with him. He spoils me a lot.
Okay, yeah. I also had, a partner too, and it's been good because back home it's like booty calls, late night, people knocking on the windows and stuff at night. Open your window, open the door, I want to come sleep. By the time the sun come up, they're gone. But, being in Sydney, you can go on dates in public, and I think it's more easier.
Yes, it's so true, because of the stigma that we face as being transgender, but the men who have this attraction towards sister girls or transgender people in general are more stigmatized in a way that they get a lot more, they go through a lot more than probably what we would go through as well, the stigma around that. And I'm glad that I found my boyfriend. He does not really care what people think about him dating an Aboriginal transgender sister girl. He's very comfortable within himself. And as Rosa mentioned about the dating back where we come from, it's very hard to find a man who will openly date a transgender person or who would be in a relationship with them. And it is a lot of times we're just more or less sexualized and fetishized by these men that
true.
They do not want to take anything further than just, yes, exactly what Rosa said, a booty call.
I see myself as female. I use female pronouns. I don't see myself as anything other. I am female, and I am attracted to straight men. And yes.
And what about your birth certificate?
Oh, yes, I'm going to mention that as well. Changed my name legally as well, and that was only a couple of months ago, and I'm happy about that.
She beat me.
Well, I'm 5 minutes older than you, remember?
Yes, so. You know, one of my greatest victories is the victory of accessing hormones. For 4 years, I've been living as trans, 4 or 5 years, I've been living as a girl. I've struggled so much to access them, to get this medication and this support. I think one of my greatest victories was actually having, the first time I took this medication, my body just automatically just fell in love with it. So I think that's my greatest victory about, accessing the hormones.
Yeah, and that's like one of my greatest victories as well, is accessing hormones and
Changing your name?
Yeah, changing my name. And, you know, I can finally see things are getting better for me. And even though it was very, very hard to move to Sydney, leaving my full-time job, and it's been very hard to get a job in Sydney. However, I was studying full-time, but it was very hard financially. However, accessing hormones has been a victory. The first day I took the hormones, oh my gosh, it was like I was on cloud 99. Cloud 9.
Yes, something like that.
I just felt all my depression leave my body then. And it's been a journey, and it's been a good one at that.
Yeah, some of my dreams and goals for the future is, as an artist, I've been because I'm an artist, I've always wanted to have my own exhibition. So hopefully I get to do that by next year sometime here in Melbourne. I want to get my own house. I want to get married, I wish.
And have babies.
Yes, have babies too, even if we adopt them. So I want to travel the world, and I want to do a lot of things. Last year I attended the launch for resources for Sister Girls and Brother. It was like the actual opening for Sister Girls and Brother Boys organisation, and around that time we had a really great victory, changing the policies in the women's shelter there to be trans acceptive. So now the women's shelter in Alice Springs cannot discriminate or neglect a sister girl or transgender person who is going through domestic violence or any sort of violence like that, and who is seeking shelter. And we've done a lot of we're doing a lot of producing a lot of resources, having education with services, which are all coming on board now and are actually doing something about it to make their policies more trans and GLBTI inclusive within their companies and the organizations. Yes, and we're doing this because the greatest reward is saving someone's life and to helping another person. And that is what we are doing this because we care for people. We all deserve a good life, no matter if we're trans or sister girl or brother boy or gay or whatever you want to call yourself.
Whatever you identify as, everyone should have a good life. I'd like to thank the traditional owners of this land here where we are doing this interview in Melbourne, and past, present and future.
Thanks a lot for listening to our stories. My name is Brianna Curtis.
Yeah, I'm Rosalina Curtis.
And I hope that you will benefit from listening to our story and that you can relate to it. And no matter what your struggles are going through right now, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And yes, thank you so much for listening to us.
Yes, thank you.